In a town where many things are attractions, the Mob Museum is actually a museum. The Mob Museum is located near the Fremont Experience in downtown Las Vegas. There are 3 levels of tickets available online, but for some reason buying them online doesn't mean you can skip the line. You still have to go through it. There's also an audio tour, but the signage is really good and there are live guides to tell you things. The tour starts on the 3rd floor of the building and about 130 years ago. Displays tell the violent history of organized crime, or the mob, as it's called in this museum. As the museum is in Las Vegas, it's really not a surprise that a lot of it focuses on the intersection between organized crime and gambling. But it goes much further, talking about the way the United States was divided up between families, talking about how those same families would be investigated, and talking about the feuds between those families. But it often returns to speak of Las Vegas. Here, this display was about the famous quickie divorces. This is the actual wall at which the St. Valentine's Day Massacre occurred. It's an interesting story, both as to how the wall ended up in Las Vegas and, of course, as to the actual massacre. Much of the power of organized crime came from Prohibition and the wealth that could be had from violating it. This part of the exhibition was about the bad guys, but also the G-men that fought them. While part of the exhibit was about the G-man toys of the era, another part was about the actual heavier weapons that they would require to fight the mob. The names you remember from movies or from history become more prominent at this point. Here's a sobering reminder of the Sing Sing Death House. So, did organized crime fix sporting events? The race wire for illegal sports gambling was a real thing, so maybe? And now we go to the 2nd floor. Here, in one of the courtrooms that actually hosted them, you'll be told about the Kefauver hearings. There's a short but worthwhile multi-screen presentation here. Senator, I am unable to recall at this time any of the details of this program. See, that's my own little omerta joke. After the courtroom, the displays returned to being about Las Vegas. We did not want to end up in the Blue Book. To this day, it fascinates me that atomic testing used to be entertainment for the town. This exhibit explains the skim, or how some profits for casinos never quite made it on the books. Did the mob kill John F. Kennedy? The museum exhibit explains why some people think so. Another display of the tools of capital punishment. Consequences for crime could be pretty severe. But then so too were the consequences of mob infighting. Finally, you return to the first floor where you entered. After a display about crime labs, we found a live presentation.
So, when you travel in the federal system, you travel two ways, diesel therapy on a bus or cardiac on a plane. I did both. I don't know if anybody's ever watched that movie with Nicolas Cage. It's not as Hollywood-ish, but it's an experience. Anyways, it's the best job to have by far in the prison. I worked very hard. I got some perks from that. My cellmate is a health, he was a huge health club on the East Coast. He's a health nut. He's teaching me how to eat clean. He's teaching me how to work out. I'm in the best shape I've been in since I won the
If you know of or remember Tommy James and the Shondells, this exhibit was particularly sad. I haven't tried to describe every exhibit here. You really need to go here. You really need to allow yourself a couple of hours here. This is a very interesting place. And finally, you come to the gift shop. Now, the gift shop is interesting because it also contains displays about famous mob movies. It's an effective way of maximizing the chances you'll find at least one souvenir. And you'll probably want one. I think you'll enjoy the Mob Museum, and you'll see me in my next video. And maybe I should thank my daughter for buying my ticket.
Okay, goodbye. Wow, you're dead.
Or not.